Sup?
Let's go.
Y'all ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. She got all the extras. Okay, she been doing the most right now. Overachieving.
My arms didn't crack. What up, peeps? Welcome back to the Let's Make Out podcast, where we make out all things what?
Love, life, and laughter.
That's right. I'm your host, Gabrielle, joined by my handsome husband and co-host,
Chad. That wasn't as bad.
Chad. No, that was great. Keep that same energy, shawty, okay?
Chad.
Oh, here we go.
The one and the only Chad.
What's going on, y'all? I feel like we need to start the podcast with music. Like, it needs to be... Don't y'all feel like it needs to be like... I don't know what the snap is supposed to be. But I keep snapping because I can't think of the word.
That's how it needs to be.
Automatic.
You have a bunch of snaps, like callers, like the song Callers.
Are there snaps and colors? Yeah. What's your color? I want to know what's your color. I want to know what...
I could be I could be purple.
I could be red. No, I could be
green. I could be purple. I could be yellow.
No.
Was it?
I could be red. I could be yellow. I could be blue. I could be purple. I could be green or pink.
Black or white.
I could be any color you like. I could be red or I could be yellow. I could be green or I could be purple. I could be green or white. I could be any color you like.
Yeah, that's Reagan's
That's the
favorite
song of the week. This is Reagan's. Her name is Stella Jang. Shout out to Stella, because I don't know where Reagan heard that song.
Apparently, she got a groove back.
But she likes to listen to it, and she likes to say, "Let's play the song and pretend I'm singing."
But don't say anything.
But don't say anything. But she don't be singing.
Well, no, sometimes she be in the back, though, looking at brother's back there. She be like... But she's doing a little face like...
If you can't see us, he's mouthing the word.
She be like mouthing, but she like so much sass with it, though, because she be like... And brother just look... And I be catching him, Chad will just look at her like... And look back, bro. But she's into it.
She be in
it. My
it
goodness.
The cutest thing.
But Chad just looks at her like, okay, whatever. He has learned his sister. He knows that she is
like, all right.
She is a beast of her own.
Oh, so that's so funny.
She's the funniest.
Anyway, I was trying to say I feel like our music should be automatic, or it should come in before we start talking. I'm finna switch up. We finna switch up. 2020 is gonna be a whole new podcast.
2020. When we go back at 2 years in time, it's gonna be a whole different podcast.
So sure of myself.
She said 2020,
2023. I don't ever want to go back to 2020. Nope. Okay, if we could go back, that'd be the 1 year I would not go back.
Yeah, we'll skip that one.
You know, speaking of 2020, I was thinking of this today because I'm watching this show, Couples Therapy. It's not just called Couples Therapy, and I'm watching season 2, and that was during the pandemic. And I kind of missed the pandemic for a second with them showing them like, because I think that when I think about it, I don't feel like I fully took advantage of the pandemic because I was waiting for it to end. So the resting and the not doing
We're
anything.
Like, let's hurry up and get it done.
Yeah. And I was like, man, if I could just go back to a shutdown where I don't have nothing to do for a good, just like a week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's like...
Has anybody else ever had that thought, like you felt like your quarantine time was wasted because you didn't really relish in having nothing to do?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Well, like, as part of it was you're spent worrying.
Yeah.
You know, part of you're spent, like, you know, hoping that people won't get sick, you know, and that people would stop
so
getting
much
sick.
Anxiety.
You know, like,
so much,
even...
Yeah,
just you seeing all this death, you're like hoping that that would stop. And, you know, and that didn't even include people that were close to you. You were just thinking of like just the world in general. Like you just want people to stop dying from this virus, right? So like you're in your mind, you're just like, you know, ready to get this over with. So where people aren't dying, people are not getting sick. The threat of my family or us getting sick. Yeah. We want all that gone. So yeah, and then before you know it, you know, like
it's back to
you know, where, you know, so it's so interesting.
Interesting.
It is very interesting because when I think of like COVID, I think of, obviously, the fear part that was there, but I also think about the just being, like just like we were at home, we wasn't doing nothing.
Literally just at the house.
So because it was interesting, I think because it was such a big life event.
Yeah.
That
crazy.
Yeah, there wasn't, other big life events. You kind of, having a baby, buying a house, doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
You plan those things for the most part, right, where you have time to prepare. This was like
out of nowhere,
like the snap of Gabriel's fingers at the beginning.
I know, right? Anyway, so on that note, cue the music.
Let's do it.
Don't you be trying to do my part. That's my part.
Oh, hey.
Then come see you.
You get your life together, young lady.
Anyway, so, yeah. If this is your first time listening to us, we're so glad you're here. If this is not your first time listening to us, we're so glad that you came back.
That's right.
Okay?
We appreciate you. We want to reward you with a great sponsor here. So
shout out to our sponsors because they keep us here right now, okay?
Yeah, they've been supportive, just like y'all been supportive. So
we appreciate it.
Absolutely. So this first one is actually a new one. This is a company called Kiwico. Okay, so Kiwico. So spelled like a kiwi, add a co to it. Okay, actually really cool box, or like. Service, yeah. Kiwico knows a thing or two about delivering fun for all ages, and they're here to help you give awesome. So with Kiwico's subscription, you're giving so much more than a toy. They'll get a season of discovery and experiences delivered straight to their door. Each box is kid approved by a crew of kid testers to ensure they're age appropriate and seriously fun. So Chad Jr. actually got to do one last week. It was a domino electric, had a motor and battery.
Yeah.
And it sets up your dominoes. So you don't have to, when you want to stack up all your dominoes so you can knock them down and make them all, it did it for you. And literally you started from scratch. You put the wheels on there, you put the gears, you put the motor, you put the batteries in. It was really, really cool. Really cool. And it wasn't hard. Chad Jr. did all of it except for some small pieces that he, was struggling with a little bit. But for the most part, he did all of it by himself. And it was really cool. So we have another kit, too, that's like some kind of science type kit. So we're going to do that with Reagan and Chad Jr. because, again, there's different ages recommended. His was 9 plus. So we just did it with him. But the other one is 3 plus. So we'll do that with Reagan as well because I think she'll really enjoy that. But it was really cool box. But yeah, so basically, go above and beyond a trending toy with a subscription that keeps on giving. You can cultivate your child's natural creativity and curiosity by giving them the tools to learn new skills and make new connections to the world around them. So, again, I was very surprised to see what this whole kit was about. So you'll be, you won't believe what they're able to build and accomplish with the Kiwico subscription. So what I liked about it is that, Kiwico, they did the legwork for us. So you spend the quality time. So we got to spend that time with him just building. So you open the box, the instructions are there. We didn't have to go try to find how to do it and research it. It just was all right there in a box, which was really cool. So we definitely think that you should check it out. We definitely are going to continue to try some of their boxes. So give awesome this holiday season with Kiwico. Get your first month of any crate line free at kiwico.com/LMO. That's your first month free at Kiwi, so KIWICO.com/LMO. So we want you to check them out and let us know what you think.
Let us know what you think, Chef.
That's right.
All right, so we're going to get into our first segment of the podcast.
First segment.
Which is the question segment, okay? I don't have a fancy name for this segment.
You don't.
But I'm going to go through and I'm going to name the things that we do, okay?
Do it.
So let's get into it. Give me a number between 1 and... How many questions are these? I can't remember. 52? This is the same one we did the last time.
Okay. So let's...
Why do people say that? Sorry. Give me a number between 1 and...
Let's go 18.
Okay.
You're so cute.
What are 5 things you're thankful for right now?
I'm thankful for my God. Like, who gives me much better than I deserve, I'm sure. Thank you for my wife and my kiddos, like my family. Like, life would not be the same without them. Mm-hmm. It would be horrible.
It might not be horrible.
It would be horrible. I don't want to think of life without you guys, so it would be horrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get that. True, I get that.
I'm thankful for our ability to, work together. Mm-hmm. Like, to like do what we do so that we can like be together. I think that's cool. It's cool every day to be able to see her.
Yeah.
I'm sure she'd be like, get out of my face, but I love it.
We don't know any different.
We don't know any different. And I think it's just really, really awesome. Mm-hmm. I'm thankful for my health. There's things that I want to improve and I want to get healthier and, change eating and just be healthier, mm-hmm. in general. But overall, I'm very thankful for my health because, it could be worse. And let's see, was that 5 or 4?
I wasn't even counting.
And I'm thankful for the endless possibilities that are ahead of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yes, because look, there's always opportunities to set goals and do things.
Always.
We are the number one critics and people that talk ourselves out of it. You don't need anybody else to tell you can't do it because you're probably really good at doing that yourself. So I am competing with that inner voice is trying to tell me I can't, and I know that I'm gonna win, and I'm gonna achieve some pretty amazing things, more amazing things.
Yeah. And
the possibilities are endless.
The possibilities are literally endless. Yeah. I was reading this book yesterday, and we're gonna actually come and talk about this book more, but The Miracle Morning, and it was something that I highlighted, and he was just talking about how when he really decided to take control of his life, because literally we all have things that happen to us, we all have circumstances, and we cannot allow ourselves to be defined by those things that happen or have happened to us, because we can change. And that's anything you decide you want to do, you literally can do it. But you have to make the decision to do it. And defeating your mind is a hard thing to do. Mm-hmm. Like let's be 100% honest. Yes. 99.9% of the times, it's your mind that is holding you back. It's that negative self-talk. Yes. It's that doubt. It's that fear. And it's the most powerful wall to reaching your goals and dreams. I really believe. Absolutely. Like, it's not your physical limitations, none of that stuff. No, it's not. It's all in your mind and what you think you can or cannot do or don't have access to or whatever. It's like we allow ourselves to be crippled by our thoughts, essentially, because it doesn't have to be the reality of things, like, so yeah, I don't have the book, or else I would read that sentence, because it was, man. I actually wrote this in my journal the other day. I thought you would think this was funny. I'll go ahead and enlighten y'all as well. So I said that I want to attack my goals daily and, really like go for the things that I want, like I try to make love to my wife. Honey, that'll get you somewhere. Okay? You are relentless. Because I'm relentless. If I see that there's a window of opportunity, relentless. Okay. So I want chase them goals like you chase my tail. That's exactly right. And exactly. See, isn't that good? I thought you would think I was funny though, but that's the truth though, because so Gabrielle is she's someone that I really want.
Like I love her. I'm attracted to her. I want her. Like, you know, like I need her, you know, like, and I want to go after my goals in that same manner.
Same type of,
that same vigor and intensity.
Yeah. I like it.
Because I know that I'm going to feel really happy when I reach those goals.
Right.
You know? So, but I thought that was like a plain and simple way to put it. Like,
it really is, because it's, you know, it makes sense to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what that feels like. That desire, that drive, that passion.
Exactly.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Chase them goals like you chase that tail.
That's right. That's the motto. I'm going to make some shirts. Don't try to steal that. Chase your goals like you chase that tail.
I cannot deal
Yes,
with you.
Exactly. Hey, I'm just saying, that's pretty good. That's actually pretty good. Trademarked. Don't try to take it.
So
Trademarked. I'm claiming today.
That's not how trademarking.
Hey, first use was on the Let's Make Out podcast at 15:18 on Thursday, October 20th. First use.
Oh, I can't.
Proof right here.
I cannot. I can't.
What number you got, Shadi?
Oh, I still can't.
It's pretty good, right?
7.
Okay.
7, 9.
What's your favorite memory we've had together? Give me as many details as possible.
I feel like I've
probably can't talk about that on the podcast.
I feel like I've answered something similar to this a million times.
You want to do a different one?
What is my favorite memory of us? Let me think about it, because I might not even know.
Dang, eyes water.
I feel like we have some really good core memories. So it would just depend on like the time frame of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, you know, one thing that I think of is our dinner in Vegas.
Yeah.
That will always be a very special, like,
it was huge
core memory. Like, this was the dinner.
That whole trip was so awesome,
basically,
though.
like, just sealed the deal. Like, I like knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that he was going to be my husband, that he was supposed to be my husband. Like, that was the, like,
the whole trip was so much fun. The whole trip was just so fun.
It was.
But that was,
yeah. But like another memory is just, I think what were we doing? We were just chilling in the pool, reading our books in the Maldives. Like, because it was just such a beautiful like, literally, it was
just out looking at the ocean, the endless ocean.
Picture perfect. We didn't have a care in the world. We didn't have anything to do there. It was just, so, I mean, there's so many good, but those are the top 2 that come to my mind.
Yeah, those are good ones.
Like, those are,
I mean, there's really a lot,
good. I mean, obviously, you know, aside from like when we got married, when we had our kids, like, those things, I feel like those are good memories. Well, you know what I'm saying? But
I'm thinking of like the unique ones, right?
Unique ones, yeah, not just like the standard joints. So yeah. Okay, give me another number.
I agree. Let's go with 24. Tribute to Kobe Bryant.
What do you value most in friendship?
That's a good one. I'm gonna speak outside. Obviously, Gabrielle is my best friend, and she's great at it. But I'm speaking outside of like just friend, like just having a friend.
Yeah.
For me, it's like there has to. What I value the most is like it has to be like a genuine connection. Can't be forced. So you'll just know if it just flows, if you just connect. And then also there shouldn't be any motives in it. Shouldn't be any. You know, it shouldn't be a business transaction. Friendships shouldn't be a business transaction. Business transactions should be a business friendship. Right. It's going to be full of that. Yeah. But a friendship, it shouldn't be. It should just be, you know, like I said, natural, and it should be like, I just want to be your friend and support you, and do what I can to help you win, and vice versa. Yeah. And there should be no envy there. There should be no, you know, like. Well, how can you know, like, and there can be those things.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think envy is a natural feeling that.
Well, I think unhealthy envy like, like taken to an unhealthy where you're like, don't want them to win or don't want to do anything to support them if you can, that's different. That's different. But I mean, like, I think that friendships, true, genuine friendships, you're going to want to help each other out if you can, whether it's and that could be personal or business stuff. Yeah. And that's great. But there has to be, I think it has to get to that point for me. Like, I just want somebody that just genuinely, like, is there for me, that wants to see me win, and vice versa. And I think that's harder to get, especially as you get older, I feel like. I don't know.
I mean, it could be. It just depends. I don't know if it's harder, because I've been guilty of saying this too. Like, making friends as an adult just seems to be harder. But I feel like we make things more complicated than they have to be.
I agree.
Like, because there is a certain amount of effort that has to go into building friendships it's not as easy as you're going to see this person every day at school, or you're going to see this person every day.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? There's more of an effort that's to be put into it. There's more
effort that has to be put into it.
And that's why it's harder. Yeah. Because we got, I got a wife, I got kids, I got a business, I got goals, like, so, and so I would say that, like, me developing my friendship with Tyler, it's interesting because we went when she became friends with his wife. We went one time to Applebee's, of all places, to talk about building a website.
Y'all sure did. I completely forgot about that.
Because that's what he works with, he's a graphic designer,
I forgot about that.
So we literally chopped it up about doing that. Business. That was our first time.
Yep.
And nothing really came to fruition with that, no biggie. But fast forward a year later or so, we just started kind of hanging out, realized that him and I just had a lot in common. We both we just clicked really well. And there was this genuine, I care about what's going on in your life. I'll tell you how I feel if you acting crazy, and vice versa. And now we have a really solid friendship to where we like, literally, he'll text me like, "How you feeling, bro?" That's his. He always put bro. That's his name. I'm like, "Hey, how you doing, man?" Like, it's just this. There's nothing needed, nothing extra you're asking about. You just want to see how you doing, how you feeling today, or hey, you know what? Pray for me. I'm not doing good today.
I feel like that's probably the hardest part to me, is finding people that are genuinely concerned with how you are. Like,
yeah.
I feel like if I was to say I'm missing something, it would be those types of friendships where, like, you're literally checking up on me to see how I'm doing, not just when you call me because you need something, you ask me how I'm doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not missing as in there's nobody in my life that's doing this, but I do feel like sometimes it's a lost, like...
Well, and I think, too, we've talked about this with what we do for a living, since we put our life out. People make assumptions that they know how we're doing.
And so they just don't even ask.
So they don't even ask.
Yeah.
And so for me, Tyler, he don't watch the content. Like, he'll keep up with me on Instagram, but he don't watch our YouTube. Like, he would, but that's not his thing. And I'm okay with that. Yeah. So when he's checking up on me, it's like, bro, how you feeling? What's up? How you doing? And for me, that's what to me is genuine friendship, you know what, I just care about how you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what? And I don't have to give you advice if you don't want it, but I will give you advice if you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, so hopefully that answers the question, but yeah.
It does. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go with number 50.
Okay.
50.
A 50.
But not the po-po.
Yeah, we don't ask for that 50. Is there something you've dreamed of doing for a long time? Why haven't you done it yet?
Is there something I've dreamed of for a long time? I feel like there are multiple things. But this is a good one.
Good one. Very good one. Good one. Good one. Very good one. Good one. Very.
I think the one that keeps coming to my mind is like really pursuing acting. Like, it's been a dream of mine for, gosh, as long as I can remember. And I think it is a mind thing. Like we were talking earlier, like this just fear of really putting myself out there and going for it. It's like I'll do it halfway, or if an opportunity comes out, accept it. But it's like real.
It's like, you're not committing to giving the shot.
Tiptoeing around. Yeah, I don't think I've ever fully committed to pursuing it. Yeah. And I don't know if it's because I secretly feel like I'm just not good enough, or I'm going to fail anyway, or like, what's the point? Like, I had someone recently text me and asked me if I had ever thought of writing and producing something for myself to star in. And the first thing that I said back was, well, I'm not really a good writer. So like, no, I haven't thought about that. Like, I'm not Issa Rae out in these streets. So, but why was that my first reaction, And then I also said, but I've also never tried to really write something.
I've wrote a movie script.
So I've assumed that I'm not good at it, but it's because it doesn't seem interesting to me. But I don't know if I'm not good at it because I've never even tried. So I think that,
and also scary.
It's very scary. It's just very scary to put yourself out there. So that will probably be the top thing that comes to my mind.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because, I think that, that's definitely what I would think. If I had to answer the question for you, that's what I would say too. It's like,
definitely.
Yeah.
So.
There's
that.
That's a good one.
You guys, so we actually have a topic.
We do.
Yes, we have a topic.
But before we do.
We have another sponsor. Okay.
So y'all got to wait for the topic. As Chad reads, I'm not going to do that today.
Please.
So this was a good one. Y'all probably have tried these. Hopefully you have. If you haven't, you got a good opportunity. HelloFresh. So with HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. So HelloFresh is pretty good because the ingredients travel from the farm to your doorstep in less than 7 days, so they're fresh. Plus, pre-portioned ingredients make cooking a snap and cut down on food waste. The fall's coming up, the winter's coming up. Like a lot of times people are like adding things to their plate. Like it just seems like just there's something on our calendar. Like we're gonna go to this thing or go to this thing. So HelloFresh is great because quick and easy meals. They have like 20-minute recipes, or the low prep and easy cleanup options mean you'll spend less time in the kitchen and more time with your loved ones. So that's always great because, if you, cook before, you can cook it real quick, or after you do the event or do whatever your activity is, come home, you got a quick meal you guys can eat and enjoy. So that's pretty awesome. We've never had a bad meal with HelloFresh. We actually just got a box yesterday, so I'm excited to try some of those.
Because dinner was not planned.
So now we've got 3 meals right there in that box. It's really great because, you can actually go on there. You can select the meals, select the week that you want it delivered. You've got some options there. So it gives you an opportunity to select meals that you might not cook on your own. So once you select that meal, you're going to get all the ingredients you need, how to cook it. And look, we haven't messed up one of them recipes. So if we don't mess it up, I'm pretty sure you're probably not going to mess it up. Okay?
You can do it.
Exactly. But we would love for you to check them out, try them, because again, we do love HelloFresh. And the way you can do that is go to HelloFresh.com/LMO65 and use code LMO65 for 65% off plus free shipping. So again, HelloFresh.com/LMO65 and use the code LMO65 for 65% off plus free shipping. Try them. Let us know what you think. If you have tried them before, let people know that you've enjoyed it as well. And let us know.
Let us know some of your faves.
Faves.
Excuse me. Okay, so let's get to the topic at hand. So I came across this article last week, and I thought that it would be something interesting for us to talk about. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone trying to find it. So James Clear, if you've never heard of him, he wrote this great book, Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits. And he has a newsletter that he sends out. And I think this was one of his newsletters. I can't remember. But basically, it's making your life better by saying thank you in these 7 situations. So the premise is that we don't say thank you enough. Like, there are a lot of times where we should be saying thank you and we're choosing to say something else. So I kind of wanted to talk about it and go through them, and I don't know, just kind of get your thoughts. Like, do you agree? Do you not agree? What do you think?
Man, that first one.
Because, he says that saying thank you is the most underappreciated and underused phrase on the planet. So here are 7 common situations when we say all sorts of things, but we should actually just be saying thank you instead. So number 1, and I feel like we're all guilty of this, is say thank you when you're receiving a compliment.
I used to be really bad at this because because she'd say I had I like your shirt or ooh, I like them shoes or whatever, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I would almost be, I think I'd be like, yeah, I got these from, I'd almost go to like, go into like where I got them and what I get, or even like maybe even quick, like oh yeah, thanks, I got them from, like, it wasn't even like this, but like instead it was just like, now I've been turned to like where it's like, thank you, I appreciate that. And, then I might give you more information, but just trying to get, but that one was one I used to be bad at.
Yeah, you did. But yeah. I think we all are kind of like guilty of just deflecting, or like when we don't feel worthy of the compliment, we're like, oh, it's like, oh girl, I like your dress. Oh girl, this old thing. Like, okay, who cares that it's old? Somebody likes it. You say thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we do that? And I think it's such a bad habit that we're just used to doing that. But it's like, why not just say thank you? He says, he gives like examples. So
that second one's a good one.
Yeah, like, oh, what's the second one?
Oh, okay. Wow, 20 points tonight. You played really well in the game. So somebody says,
so instead of saying, yeah, but I missed that wide open shot in the third quarter, you would say instead, thank you. It was a good night. Like, Thank you. I appreciate it. Like, why do we feel like we have to point out our flaws? Because it's like, well, are you sure you want to give me a compliment? Because what you didn't know is that this is old. Or what you didn't know is that I messed up here. Or what you didn't know is, you know what I'm saying?
And I think, too, is like interesting, too, what I've noticed me, especially when it comes to sports or athletics, is like, especially when it comes to like when I'm full-fledged training for triathlons, people are like, man, I could never do that. That's wild. And me, it's always like, or like, like you doing, you doing some big things, talking about triathlon. My instant response is, yeah, man, but you could do that. I mean, you could do it too, for sure, man. Like, you just, it's some tough work, but you can do it. Like, I go to encouraging them instead of just being like, accepting the encouragement that I'm getting from somebody else, because they're like looking at what I'm achieving and they're like, wow,
yeah, you instantly go into
like, man, but you could do it too, man. It's like, I'm trying to encourage them instead of just letting myself be encouraged.
Right.
And it's like, it's like deflecting. You're trying to, you're like, well, I'm not doing as good as I want to. And it's always rooted in, I'm not doing as good as I want to in triathlon. So I can't accept that compliment.
Yeah. Yeah. He says, getting compliments should be fun and enjoyable, but we often ruin the experience. Like, there's no need to sabotage compliments that come your way. Accept them with grace and enjoy the moment. Like, just say thank you.
Thank you, sweetie.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. And say you're welcome too.
You're welcome too.
So number 2 is say thank you when you're running late. Now this one is interesting because I keep reading it and I'm just like, I mean, I see where he's going with this, but so he's like, being late is the worst. It's stressful for the person who's running late and it's disrespectful to the person waiting, which I totally agree. Being late is mad disrespectful. Like, literally. However I don't care if you believe it or not, if there was excuse or not, or if you're just a late person. Like, when you look at it at the end of the day, you are wasting someone's time when you don't show up when you're supposed to, or when you have someone waiting. You know what I'm saying? And I've been there. I am typically a late runner, so I get it.
But I actually kind of agree with what he's saying here. I'll explain to you.
So yeah, it says that it might seem strange to thank someone for dealing with your hassle, but that's exactly the correct response. So for the example, he's saying, because he's saying that the problem about the response is it makes a situation about you. So say you show up late and you're like, sorry, I'm late. It still makes it about you. So, sorry, I'm late. Traffic was insane. He says, instead of saying that, say thank you for your patience. I don't really like that. Like, like if somebody was late and they came in and said thank you for your patience, I would be like, I didn't choose to be patient. What you thanking me for? That's where my mind went. Like, well, do you see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, but here's the thing is,
I mean, I guess I did choose.
You did, because you could have left. You could have left.
That's true.
You could have changed your plan and said, you know what, you're late, so I'm changing my plans. So,
that's true.
But so the reason I like that is actually because the words I'm sorry are played out and overused.
Say that.
Because how many times are you actually really sorry? I mean, be honest. Like, it's so easy. Like, for someone, it's just so easy to be like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But we all know that actions speak louder than words, right? So I can't improve my arrival time in that moment. I can't show you that I'm going to be on time because I was late. I got to prove that to you the next time.
Yeah.
But what I can say is, you know what, you stayed. So thank you so much for your patience. You know, and you can even go in deeper if you want, but I'm going to definitely do my best to make sure that I don't have you waiting again. But I think that person stayed, right? The person could have left, but they didn't.
Right, but
so they had patience.
Yeah.
They were maybe impatiently patient.
Right.
But starting with I'm sorry. Are you really sorry?
Or are you just saying that?
Are you just saying it because it's the thing that you're supposed to say? Like, I just think that the word I'm sorry, you know, is just overused, played out.
I agree with that. And he does say that. He's like, you know, thank them for what they did despite your error. It's like, you know, the better approach is to praise their patience and loyalty.
Yeah.
As opposed to just flipping it and making it about you.
Yeah. Like blaming it on something, or basically you're just coming up with an excuse.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm sorry, traffic was crazy. I would have been there on time if the traffic, but was that really the truth? Or?
Well, yeah, I think that people continue. For one, I think it is really a struggle for people to be on time. Certain people that are chronically late, it is really
it's a bad
an
habit.
Issue. It is a bad habit. Yeah. It is really bad to get out of that. And I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah, same.
But I also think that sometimes they're enabled to do that with the same people because nobody holds them accountable for that. If you consistently show up late when I plan you to go out with you and I stay, you're going to consistently feel like it's okay. But if I set a boundary and say, listen, if you're not here within 15 minutes, I got to go because it's not cool for me to sit here and just
and I got something else to do.
Or if you're constantly a half an hour late when we make plans, then I'm just not going to do this with you. So, it's one of those things where it's like, you got to be firm in your boundaries. If you are somebody that is irritated or gets upset about somebody who's chronically late, you got to set the boundary so that they
their
know
actions
it's
can
not
speak louder than their words.
Yeah,
right?
You got to really try to show up here on time because I bet you they ain't chronically late to work. Now, some people are. But there are certain places where they know not to be late.
They're not going to be chronically late.
You know what I'm saying?
If it's something for them, but we always know too, if it's something for them, they're going to be on time, maybe even early, right?
Yep.
So we're all guilty of it in some way, shape, or form, or have been, and will be.
Yeah.
But I like that angle of just saying, you know what, thank you for your grace and your patience with me because I was late. Yeah. And that's it. You don't even have to say why you were just late.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, like if because if you knew you were going to be late, you probably knew you were going to be late ahead of time. It could have been like, hey, I'm text or a call.
Oh, that's a good point.
I'm going to be late. I'm going to be 20 minutes late. Is that okay with you, or do you want to reschedule?
We are so bad about that. And like women especially. Girl, yeah, I'm on the way. You ain't even put your makeup on yet. I would much rather you say, I ain't even put my makeup on yet. I'm going to be leaving probably in like 30 minutes. Instead of saying you on your way and you ain't even close to being on your way. Like, just tell me the truth.
Exactly.
Because I might stop what I'm doing thinking I got to be ready for you. Like, say you coming to pick me up or something, but I could have still been doing what I was doing while I'm waiting on you. So you're like inconveniencing me by not telling me the truth. Just be honest.
So it just all comes down to communication.
Yeah.
And that's why I think this answer is better.
Yeah. Okay. So number 3 is, I said number three. Say thank you when you're comforting someone. Now, this one I didn't pre-read. So it says when somebody comes to you with bad news, it can be awkward. You want to be a good friend, but most people don't know what to say. Oftentimes we think it's a good idea to add a silver lining to at least you have. So, example, your coworker's mother passes away recently. And instead of saying, at least you have a lot of fond memories to hold on to, try saying, thank you for sharing that with me. I know that this is a hard time for you. Now that...
Acknowledging their feelings.
Man, I talked about this on my video. I did a video on the Gabe fix last week. And I was just ranting
or whatever. If you're not subscribed, make sure you go subscribe.
And what I was talking about, how sometimes I don't bring up something like dealing with, my mother and her journey or whatever, because I've had people even comment like, well, at least you still have your mom to go through this with. But that doesn't take away the fact that I feel worn out or sad or whatever because I'm still going through the situation. It's like, I feel like people, they really just don't know what to say. And I'd rather you just not say anything.
Yeah. Than
say, well, at least you still have your mom to go through this with. It could have been worse. Everything can be worse.
And I think that, and that, my thing is about that too, is like, at least you still have your mom. Like, I think that it's like, that doesn't mean that just because the outcome was, thankfully her being healed, doesn't mean that the journey wasn't tough.
Yes.
And I think that it's unfair to expect someone to not be able to feel the pain of their journey or the tiredness of their journey as the main support system in something like this, just because they didn't lose their mother.
Yeah.
That's unfair, because it was still painful.
Right.
The pain of hearing that she has cancer, the pain of not knowing if she's going to survive, then seeing her hurting from this treatment. Like there's still pain that comes along those ways.
Yeah.
But just because the outcome isn't what happened to somebody else doesn't mean that you can't still feel the pain of it, of the journey. Yeah,
and I think that, I think we've probably all been guilty of that, because sometimes until you've dealt with someone close to you losing someone, or trying to comfort someone going through grief, a lot of times you don't realize that you could be giving insensitive comments, or you could be, not as sensitive as you could be in your delivery or whatever. So sometimes we just don't know what to say. So we just be making up stuff, or we just be saying what we think is going to make people feel better. And a lot of times it's like, I'd rather you just not say anything. Like, that doesn't make me feel better. And we also judge people's, like, we're all living life through our lens and what has happened to us. So it's like...
But you judge people from your lens.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like we are basing their grief or their feeling or whatever based off of how we would have handled it, or how we had to handle it. Or, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, my feelings don't have nothing to do with you.
It's not
like, this is not the same.
I think it's not about you.
It's not about you.
I think if someone's talking about what they're dealing with, first thing you need to remind yourself is it's not about you.
Yeah.
Like, but that's the problem, is that we're a self-centered.
Yes.
We're a self-centered, like, people. So everything's about us.
Everything's about. And
like,
I'd be wondering though, like, when people who are chronic about that, like, you cannot tell them a story without them telling you that the same thing happened to them, or trying to, like, one up you and say what happened to them. And it's like, do people do that because they're selfish, or do people do that because they feel like that's the only way to connect? By, let me let you know that I can relate because the same thing happened to me.
Or they're just seeking attention.
Yeah, it's like which one of the three is it? Like, do people really feel like that's the only way we can relate, is if I can say I've been through the exact same thing as you? Because you haven't. You'll never go through the exact same. Even if it happened to you, it'll never be the exact same way, because we're two different people. Yeah. So we process everything different. We see things different. Like,
and I can speak I can't speak from a women's standpoint, obviously, but men, we like to be problem solvers, right? So I had to learn with Gabrielle that she didn't need me to solve her problems.
Right.
So at first she would tell me something, and I would have like 2 or 3 options to fix the problem. You know, because I'm a problem solver. Like my goal, she's hurting. I want to stop her from hurting.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that attribute, but it's not always needed.
Right.
You know, like if she says, after we talk, she says, well, what do you think I should do? You know what? I can hop into problem solving mode right then, full fledged. And you know what? All right, girl, shut up and listen. I got all these ideas. But if she's just asking for comfort and someone to be there with her and to support her and to just hold her, then that's what is needed. So it can be just like, I know this is hard. So now what I've learned how to say is just let it out.
Yeah.
I just say, let it out.
Yeah.
Let it out. And I can continue to remind her to let it out because that's what she needs.
Right.
She needs to let it out.
You're right.
And she's got me holding her the whole time, so she knows she's not alone. But that's, I think that a lot of times people just want to fix it for you. And sometimes people just can't stand it not being about them. You know, I mean, I think
it's true. I agree. Yeah. So it's like some people just have to be the center of attention. And it's like, okay, thanks, but we're not talking about you. Yeah.
I'm trying. Yeah.
I didn't ask.
And it goes back to that friendship thing. Like I said, if I can't talk about what I'm dealing with you and you just listen and be there for me, then I can't build a deep connection with you. And if I can't build that deep connection, then our friendship's only going to go to a certain level.
So this next one is interesting too. You want to read it?
Yeah. So the next one is say thank you when you're receiving helpful feedback. So constructive criticism, basically. Feedback can be very helpful, but we rarely see it that way. Whether it's unflattering performance review from your boss or an email from an unhappy customer. Standard reaction is to get defensive.
Yeah.
That's a shame because the correct response is simply say thank you and use the information to improve. So the example is this work isn't good enough. I thought you would do better. Instead of you don't understand, here's what really happened. Try saying thank you for expecting more of me.
It's interesting.
Another example. I bought your product last week and it already broke. I am not happy with the experience. Instead of saying how did you use it, we made it very clear in our terms and conditions the product is not designed to work in certain conditions. Try saying thank you for sharing your thoughts. Please know we are committed to becoming better. Can you share more details about this issue?
Now that one I think is pretty standard. I think it's the next one that I was like, but that's pretty standard. Like when it's helpful.
But the problem is delivery. See, constructive criticism with bad delivery is insults.
Well, the next one is about criticism.
Okay.
So this one isn't necessarily criticism. This is more about like, I don't know.
I know, but if you said right there, this work isn't good enough. I
guess that is kind of criticism.
It is.
That is criticism.
Like you say that to me, I can instantly get defensive in that because it's like you couldn't have said it in a better way. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's that's a tough one. But okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so that one was interesting. But the next one is saying thank you when you're receiving unfair criticism. So sometimes criticism isn't helpful at all. It's just vindictive and mean. So he says one of the best approaches is to just say thank you and move on. And when you thank someone for criticizing you, it immediately neutralizes the power of their statements. Now that makes a lot of sense. It's not a big deal to you. If it's not a big deal to you, then it can't grow into a larger like argument or whatever. So example, this might be a good advice for beginners, but anyone who knows what they're doing will find this useless. Instead of, I wrote this for beginners. This might be a surprise, but not everything was written with you in mind. Say thank you for sharing your opinion. I'll try to improve next time. Another one is your statement is the dumbest thing I've read all week. Instead of you're an idiot, let me tell you why. Try saying thank you for the feedback. I still have a lot to learn. So I don't know. I think it just depends on the type of honestly, it depends on what the comment is.
So I can speak about our YouTube comments. Just because you say, I say this with love, or I'm not trying to be rude, or hope this doesn't offend you, doesn't get you off the hook from being rude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, just because you don't get to say something rude and then caveat it with, I'm saying this with love.
Yeah.
Or I hope this is not rude. Like, people, like, so it's all, to me, it's all about delivery, right? If you want to truly say something with love, well, reread what you say, what you typed, and see if it actually is with love. Because I think that that's the problem with just in general, is that with typing in general, when you're not talking to someone face to face, right? Or you can't hear someone's voice, is that criticism, I mean, it's the unfair criticism is going to be taken. It's either fair or unfair based on who's listening. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you delivering something. So if they hear, to me, if I read I'm just going to what we do for a living, right? If I read a comment that is rude, and then at the end, I say this with love, well, I mean, I don't care at the end that you said I say this with love, because you were just rude. So I think that's a different one. So I'm definitely not going to write, me personally, I wouldn't be like, thank you for your feedback. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's why I was like,
so that was a tough one, because we're grown adults. So you should be able to articulate in an unrude way if you truly want to say something with love.
Right. And I think it definitely, like, everybody doesn't do what we do. So, you know, people deal with criticism in their real lives. Like, it's very rare that anybody is criticizing me in person, in face to face. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I understand if it's someone coming to you with constructive criticism or
person to person will be different.
Like unfair criticism. I feel like that is, when it's in person, that's definitely the time to be like, okay, thanks, noted, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like even me saying thank you to your unfair criticism,
if I don't agree with it, I'm not
is
gonna
like,
thank
to
you.
me, is like giving you power, even responding.
I just want to respond.
Say nothing.
I just don't respond.
Like, I would rather just not respond versus saying thanks, I'll
I'm not even
look
gonna
into
respond.
that later, or thanks, I'll try to do better next time, because then it makes it seem like your criticism is right. Because if I'm going to try and do better next time, then clearly what you're saying is right. You see what I'm saying? Like, so I just wouldn't respond.
So for me,
I don't know. Let me know what y'all think about this one.
So for me, the reason I brought up the comments is obviously what we do, right? And we get
but everybody doesn't deal with
We get tons
that.
of comments, you know, people, you know, judging everything.
Yeah.
And so for us, it's just like, I'll read it and keep it moving, because at the end of the day, you know, I just don't have to respond, right? It's not, if you're being rude, it's not important enough to me to respond.
Yeah.
If you're giving me constructive criticism that is really constructive and comes in a way that is loving or is not rude,
right,
then we respond to those. But you know, I didn't see that. We've responded to, but when it's just rude, or you say something crazy and then try to sugarcoat it with the love statement at the end, which we get all the time. It's the funniest thing. I just don't respond, because, well, I don't think that that's what you were trying to do. I think you just wanted to say what you wanted to say. Yeah. And so delivery is the thing for me, right? Yeah. If it's not delivered correctly, I just probably won't respond.
So the next one is say thank you when someone gives you unsolicited advice. So this says this shows up a lot in the gym. I've never had anybody give me unsolicited advice in the gym. Everybody has an opinion about what your technique should look like. And I think most people are trying to be helpful, but hearing someone's opinion about you when you didn't ask for it can be annoying. Very true. So a better approach is just to say, thank you. I'm skimming over this. So the example is, you know, you should really keep your hips back when you do that exercise. So instead of saying, oh, really? Do you have a video of yourself doing it so I can see it done correctly? Just say thank you for your help. Pointing out others' faults doesn't remove your own. Thank people for raising your self-awareness, even if it was unsolicited.
I mean, I've been in the gym before, you know, where, you know, most of the time it's like, hey, if you ever use this machine, or, hey, I'm doing this workout, should I need to have my elbows out at the end? I'll ask somebody that's bigger than me, that's somebody that looks like they've got, you know, obviously has been training longer than me, or, and so, but I mean, there's been a few times where somebody be like, hey, try it this way, and you might get a better pump or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And most of the time it'll be like, oh, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
You know,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
If it's coming from somebody, now, if somebody comes over to me that looks like they haven't worked out. They can be the skinniest person in the world, but look like they ain't got no muscles or whatever. And they come over and like, you're doing that all wrong. Again, it's delivery for me. Yeah. It's always been delivery for me. Like, you're doing that all wrong. I don't know who the heck told you that. Like,
but I mean, if they do say that, then I mean, like, you have to then decide, is it even worth it to say anything back? So I get it in an effort to go on about your day. You could be like, oh, okay, thanks.
I would just
and
laugh
then just go on about
around.
your day. You know what I'm saying? Versus trying to point out their inadequacy or their inability to tell you because of what they look like. They obviously don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, girl, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks but no thanks. Or okay, guy, thanks but no thanks. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I'll give you an example. I was in a 10K race. The one that I did, and like I did it like 47 something. My fastest 10K I'd ever done. Got like second in my age group, and I was cruising along. This dude runs up next to me, like, man, I know you got more, bro. Like, dude, you're slowing down. Like, you know, like I thought he was trying to be encouraging, but he was really like kind of just like, I don't know you, bro. Just keep running. Like we're like 4 miles in. So I was like, oh, okay. And just kept running. Yeah. I beat him by like 7 minutes because he was doing the most. He ran up real quick and then he was walking. I passed him when he was walking. Yeah. To me, so I was just like, oh, okay. And just kept it moving. Because it's like, in that moment, what is the point of your...
But he, like you said, most generous interpretation is that he was just trying to be encouraging. Like, maybe he didn't think he was better than you, or you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you internalized it, but it could have been that he was just being and trying to encourage you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think that I'm a very competitive person.
So you instantly took the defense.
So for me, it's just like, I'm in a mode. Like, I mean, heck, when I've been at the IVF Ironmans, they waved and said hello to me. I'll give them a quick smile and keep it going. Yeah. Because I'm in a mode. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, so it's like I don't talk to anybody. Yeah. Like, you know, I don't like, so it's like interesting. To me, it's like, I wasn't offended by it, but I just said, oh, okay. Like, I'm not looking for it. I don't need it. So like, it's like one of those things where I don't think anything ill will of him, but I'm like, you know, like, I think that when you're racing, sometimes to me, I focus on myself. I'm focusing on myself, what I'm trying to do, because it's an individual race, or I'm just trying to get it done. Yeah. Once I'm done with the race, moving, I'll encourage. You know what I'm saying? And you've seen me encourage people, you know, so like, but yeah. So like I said, I wasn't offended by it, but that was just an example of somebody giving me unsolicited advice. My thing is like, oh, okay. Yeah. Like,
we'll say thank you. Okay. So the last one says, say thank you when you're not sure if you should thank someone. So he's, when in doubt, just say thank you. There is no downside. Are you honestly worried about showing too much gratitude to people in your life? Should I send a thank you card in this situation? Yes, you should. Should I tip him? If you don't, at least say thank you. Say thank you more often. So that was like that was the basis of the whole article. But I do think it is some things to think about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, and there's another one that I would even add on there is to say thank you. And I do this with the kids. Say thank you when someone apologizes to you. Accept it. It's like accepting the compliment. Accept the apology. Because sometimes it's easy to get caught up in, oh, that's okay, or oh, don't worry about it. But what would they be apologizing for if it was okay?
But like, saying thank you, I agree with that, because saying thank you doesn't mean you're saying it's okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying, well, thank you for apologizing. You know what I'm saying?
You could still be mad at them.
Right.
But if you're just saying thank you for acknowledging what you did wrong and apologizing, you know, and so we also... But that also goes along with us, too, is we don't make them say sorry. Yeah. We want them to say sorry because they truly mean that they're sorry.
Right. Not
goes back to what I said earlier
Mommy said I need to tell you sorry.
Yeah, because we tried that at first. Go say you're sorry. And then she'll be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like, do you really mean that?
Do you really mean that? So now with the kids, it's really good because, especially with Reagan, if she does something, she'll go, brother, I'm sorry. And we hadn't even told her to say she's sorry. Yeah. So, but that's a good one. I like that one too.
But so I would say if somebody is apologizing, thank them for the apology. Whether you feel like it's genuine, whether you feel like you can feel all the things, but okay, thank you.
That doesn't mean you have to get over it in that moment.
Right. Like, thank you. I appreciate it. But don't dismiss it or make it seem like it's okay. If somebody is apologizing, take it. Like, if somebody shows up late and they're like, I'm so sorry. Oh, it's okay. Or thank you for apologizing. I appreciate that. Because you thought enough to apologize.
But they shouldn't say, I'm so sorry. They should be saying, thank you for your patience.
It's true. It goes against the whole article. Anyway, tell us your thoughts about the whole sorry. What are some instances that you have found maybe saying thank you helped in a situation versus doing whatever else? Because conversations can always go to the left real quick.
That's right.
Depending on how you respond to certain things, you know.
So yeah. So speaking of crappy sorries, or just crap apologies, we're gonna tell you about our next sponsor, Reels.
What does that have to do?
Because it's toilet paper.
Crap.
Yes.
I can't. I can't.
Let's wipe the slate clean. All right. Look. I did my best. I did my best connection there. Okay. All right. So Reel paper, REEL paper. Trees are pretty great, right? I mean, they got lots of good features. I mean, and this is what Reel believes. I mean, they provide shade, they make oxygen, prevent erosion, suck up all that carbon, provide homes for animals, and there's a bunch of other stuff that they do. So they're really important. And so to turn something as awesome as a tree, and more accurately a forest of trees, into toilet paper just feels wrong. These trees spend decades growing only to get cut down and flushed down the toilet. So I think, this is where Reel comes in. Reel paper, they make a sustainable toilet paper that uses 100% bamboo. The great thing about bamboo is that it's a fast-growing grass. Some species of bamboo can grow up to 3 feet per day, and because it's a grass, they're able to harvest the same stalk over and over without disrupting the plant or soil. So, and on top of the ecological benefit of using bamboo, Reel paper's packaging is plastic-free and compostable. I said it right? Shout it.
Compostable. It seems weird when you hear.
So yeah, we've used Reel. They sent us this big old box full of the Reel toilet paper, and it was great. I mean, no complaints. Good toilet paper. Reel paper is, it's available in easy, hassle-free subscriptions or for one-time purchases on their website. All orders are conveniently delivered to your door with free shipping and 100% recyclable plastic-free packaging. If you head to reelpaper.com/LMO and sign up for a subscription using our code LMO at checkout, you'll automatically get 30% off your first order and free shipping. So again, that's Reel, REELPAPER.com/LMO, or enter the promo code LMO to get 30% off your first order plus free shipping. So let's stop flushing our forest and try Reel's tree-free paper. Reel is paper for the planet. So check them out. And
check it out. All right, y'all. So our last segment, Ask Gabe and Babe.
Ask Gabe and Babe.
Shout out to you guys who have sent some Ask Gabe and Babes. Keep them coming.
Keep them coming.
All right, so Babe gonna read this Ask Gabe and Babe because I feel like I read all the other stuff.
Oh yeah, don't worry about the three sponsors I read.
Oh, you're right.
That's okay.
Maybe I'll read
okay.
the Ask Gabe and Babe.
No, I got you, sweetie.
Didn't I tell you
Don't do me.
Babe would be throwing it up in my face, but he don't ever be like, "Can you read this sponsor? How about you do this sponsor?" He just takes them all.
So take it out on the cheeks later.
I'm done with you.
So let's make our podcast.
I'm done with you.
Yeah.
We just Ask Gabe and Babe. I cannot.
But you can. Ask Gabe and Babe. Hey, Gabe and Babe. I'm going to make this short.
Okay.
The end. No, I'm just playing. Thank you. My husband and I got married this year. Congratulations. Congrats. I'm 35 years old. I would love to wait a couple of years to have children, but I feel my internal clock ticking. Laugh out loud. How did you all decide when to start a family? If you were in a position, would you start immediately or wait a while to enjoy one another? Okay.
So, first question. Also, thank you for sending this in. Yep. We didn't wait. I was like, what was her first question? We didn't wait, but we didn't have a choice. Like, we got pregnant. So I don't even think that cheeks. we weren't actively trying, but we were just like, whenever it happens, it happens. Yeah. Like, let's just be happily married and see what happens. And that's exactly what happened. What is happening here?
Doing the awkward arm around that.
Okay. And that's exactly what happened. So in hindsight, if we could have waited, here's the thing. You're 35. Not to say that you are old or anything like that. Please don't take that as this. But if you do want to start having kids, I do believe that if you feel in a position where you could have them now, I would say do it and get it out of the way.
Because how many do you want, right?
At 35, they're going, you know what I'm saying? It is statistically more difficult the older you get. That's what they say. God can do anything. You can have kids whenever. You know what I'm saying? But the older you get, the harder
it can be harder on your body. Yeah, absolutely.
It is definitely harder on your body. It's possible, but what are you going to feel like? You know what I'm saying? So nobody, for one, we can't answer this for you because it is your life. I am very curious. I wonder, did you say your husband was ready? She didn't really say. So I'm curious as to what his thoughts are. Is he ready? Does he want to wait?
Yeah.
But also, having kids is not going to completely eliminate your ability to be with your spouse without the kid, if that makes sense. I don't know how long you guys dated, so I don't know what your dating life was like or how much time you guys had with each other without a child. But you have to think about it in the grand scheme of things. Your plan is to spend the rest of your life with this man. Mm-hmm. So you are going to have a good chunk of time to be with him. And you can do that when you have children. It's not, I don't subscribe to the fact that as soon as you have kids, you just can't do nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So I would say just get it done, because also, one of the things that you never know is how quickly you can get pregnant. And I will say this, that sometimes we take that for granted, thinking we have the time. Then you may start trying, and I'm not speaking this on you, but what if you run into an issue and you've waited 2 years and then you find out, oh, this is going to take a lot more for us to.
Yeah, like we did with our second kid, with Ray.
Yeah.
We didn't, we was like, well, okay, we're going to try again. And then all of a sudden.
It didn't happen as quickly.
And that's why there's 5 years apart between the two, and we started, I say, relatively late having kids. I don't know. Not
we got married early. Later. We got married and then we turned 30.
Exactly. So
we got married at 29 and then we were pregnant right before we turned 30. So, so I don't know. That is my suggestion. It's hard for me to give you a go ahead. If you said you guys were 25, then I'd say, girl, take a couple years. Y'all got time. You know what I'm saying? Time, we always think we have time. Nobody knows how much time we have. But if you're at that age, I feel like you should just take the position of enjoying life with your husband. And whenever God says it's time is when it's time. I wouldn't actively be trying not to have kids. Yeah. If that makes sense. More so thinking about it as should we get pregnant? Because you're not going to get pregnant tomorrow. That's just not, it ain't going to happen tomorrow. It could, but 9 times out of 10, it might take a little bit of time. So just enjoy being married. And when it happens, it happens. But I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm finna get on birth control. We are definitely not having kids for the next 2 years. Da 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 da. I think And it's a lot easier when you're not trying.
Yeah.
So just
and more fun too.
Live life, be spontaneous, have the sex, and if you get pregnant, then that's when it's supposed to happen.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that we do this, especially women, and I understand, why women put these clocks on them, because that's what society says. That's what doctors preach. But we all know that God is, can do anything. But I just say that just let go, let God. Like, the simple answer, like just enjoy your newlyweds. You shouldn't be going right into a stressful, well, let's try to prevent this. Let's just be and like have fun, enjoy each other, like enjoy being married. And when God says it's time,
it'll happen.
Yeah. And because you don't want to all of a sudden just wait a couple years and then regret that you did it. Like, just don't try to control it.
Yeah, I think that's the best way.
Let go of control, because you don't control it. At the end of the day, you don't control it.
And I get it. It's okay with having a plan or, having an idea of what it is you want. Absolutely. But I think if there's not an absolute reason why you guys just couldn't handle kids right now, or maybe you're not in a position at all to have them, then when they come, they come.
Yeah, exactly.
Just be carefree with it. Trust me. When it just popping up pregnant, I feel like it's a lot less stressful than trying and being frustrated because it's not happening. And I don't know. Yeah. I'm sure it could be stressful if you're in the wrong situation. But when you're married and you're enjoying that
means you're supposed to just be like,
yeah, man,
have some fun.
Just do it.
All over the house.
Life is not over because you guys have kids. You can always still take advantage of time with you and him by yourselves, traveling with just him. Like, you got your whole life to do that. Yeah. Like, it doesn't stop
exactly
the growth of your marriage. I don't believe.
No, if you watch us, if you're not watching us, Gabe TV, but if you watch us, we take trips with our family and we take trips without our kids because we know it's very valuable to spend that time together. Yeah. And we want to spend that time together. Like, we've earned the right to spend that time together. Right. And but then we love taking trips with the family too, but we know there are going to be two different types of trips. Yeah. But there's no regret anywhere with either one of us for having our kiddos. No. It's the funniest. It is the funnest.
It's the best.
It is the best thing ever.
It's the best. Yeah.
So
hopefully that answers your question. I say just do your thing, girl.
That's right.
Be a newlywed. Okay, so get it in, however, whenever, without a care.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Just have some fun. So, thank you for sending that in.
Yes, and good luck.
Good luck. Keep us posted.
That's right. Let us know.
And for everybody else listening, if you have any situations, dilemmas, whatever it is, parenting, family, marriage, money, anything you want to ask us about, shoot it on over. Let's Make Out Podcast at gmail.com with the hashtag Ask Gabe and Babe in the subject line, so we know that you want us to talk about it on the podcast.
That's right. So before we sign off, our socials. Got one more sponsor, but real quick question. She just gave the Gmail. Our social is Let's Make Out Pod on Twitter. Let's Make Out Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Again, we would love if you would go check those accounts out. Keep up with us there. Yes. And you can also contact us through any of those ways as well. So don't if you ever just are feeling something, you ain't got time to email, you want to send us a quick tweet or a message on Instagram, please do.
Don't tweet us. Send us a message on Instagram because nobody is checking that Twitter. Are you checking it? I don't even know why we still put that.
God's checking it. If you are on Twitter and it's meant for us to get it, we will get it. Okay? I'm going to try to tell her not to tweet. Some people love the tweeter. All right.
I always be on there. I don't never be on
I be on Twitter because
babe, I always be having all the tea from
I know because
Twitter.
Because the trending topics on Twitter is like, it's very good information. Some of it's crap, but it gives you high level stuff that's going on very quickly. So I like it because of that.
You can get it real quick.
You can get the information really quick. You can then have to decipher it, whether it's bullcrap or not. Yeah. But at least you get some information of what's going on really quickly.
True.
And that's why I like Twitter. But outside of that, Okay, last sponsor is Apostrophe. Have you? I'm sure that all of you have been overwhelmed by the amount of choices that are out there. So I mean, it doesn't matter what it is: cereal, toilet paper. Well, you check out Reels for toilet paper. There are just so many options. But when it comes to finding, so one of the ones that I've always struggled with is finding skincare products that actually work, because there's literally every brand. Everybody has a skincare product that they promise is going to do this or that, and it becomes overwhelming. So finding skincare products that actually work for you is complicated, and that's why we're excited that we're partnering with Apostrophe, who is sponsoring this last bit of this episode. They are actually an online platform that connects you with an expert dermatology team to get customized acne treatment for your unique skin. So through Apostrophe, you can get access to the oral and topical medication that use clinically proven ingredients to help clear acne. Simply fill out an online consultation about your skin goals and medical history. Then snap a few selfies, and a board-certified dermatologist will create your first customized treatment plan. So that's pretty awesome. Apostrophe offers access to treatments for all types of acne, from hormonal acne to facial acne, and even back, chest, and butt knee. That's the best one, butt knee.
You always love that.
They treat breakouts from head to toe. So that's pretty awesome because, I mean, look, it's just the truth. Like you get acne, and sometimes you don't know why you got it. You just get it. So it's like being able to treat that is really awesome. To me, I think that the best part about this is that I'm not going into a place and just picking up a box and hoping it works. It's just nice to know that the treatment plan is from a real dermatologist and a dermatology provider, and that they tailored it for me, based on the information that I provided. So it doesn't mean it's gonna be perfect, but it's just really nice. But we have a special deal for you guys. Get your first visit for only $5 at apostrophe.com/LMO when you use our code LMO. That's a savings of $15. This code is only available to our listeners. To get started, just go to apostrophe.com/LMO and click begin visit. Then use our code LMO at sign up, and you'll get your first visit for only $5. So thank you, Apostrophe, for sponsoring this episode.
Thank you.
So battery's about to die, y'all. So we about to tell you bye real quick.
Oh, dang, it is flashing.
Yes.
We love y'all.
Yeah.
We'll be back. Talk to you.